The Melbourne Declaration underpins the Australian curriculum with the goal that all young Australians become successful learners. The three dimensions of the Australian curriculum, learning areas, general capabilities, and cross-curriculum priorities, provide teachers with the flexibility to cater for the diversity of students' needs through differentiation and personalised learning. There are 4 steps that teachers can use to assist them to develop personalised learning plans using the Australian curriculum. For the first step, start with content appropriate to students' age and year level. The second step is to identify students' abilities and interests. Then for the third step, measure student achievement. And for the fourth, evaluate the impact of any resources and supports. In this illustration, teachers talk about age-appropriate learning area content as the starting point for their planning. This enables teachers to plan teaching and learning programs that are respectful of their students' age, that challenge them and enable them to progress through the curriculum. In this Year 1 class, there is a diversity of students' needs, including a number of students whose first language is not English. The teacher uses the Year 1 English learning area content as a starting point, as well as the EALD annotated content descriptions to plan a unit of work and individual lessons.
To plan for this lesson, I used the Australian curriculum and I went to the Year 1 content descriptors for language and literacy. Then I matched that with the EALD annotations. I found the teaching strategies very helpful because they were able to support my teaching and give me insight into what I might think about as I'm planning for this lesson.
A Year 4 science class has students with a range of communication needs. The teacher starts with content from Year 4 science, physical sciences, forces, and includes science activities that encourage each student to work towards achieving the communication goals set in their plans.
This afternoon's science activity is about forces, and we're floating boats and looking at the forces that make the boats move.
We're going to put the 2 boats in, right? We're going to put the red boat and the blue boat, and you need to tell me which boat you think will go fastest.
The learning intent behind the science activity is twofold. We've got the forces, and in this case the thing that makes the boats move is the wind. We've also got the questioning skills that come from inquiry, predicting which boat will get to the end first, starting to think about why that might be.
Do you think the red boat or the blue boat will go faster, the red one?
Because the students are non-verbal and are at the moment operating at a very concrete level, we actually offer them the 2 boats for them to make a physical choice of. Which of these do you think will go fastest?
In a Year 8 class also studying physical sciences and energy, the teacher integrates Year 8 science content with the cross-curriculum priority of sustainability.
In today's lesson, what you're going to see is a Year 8 physics lesson, and we're looking at transformation and transferring energy. The aim of the task is basically for them to design a wind turbine to demonstrate their understanding of that energy transformation, but at the same time I was trying to use the sustainability cross-curriculum priority to give that science context meaningful application in life. So I think what I was using is some of the organising ideas talk about things like technological developments, and they talk about, impact of human activity on environments and ecosystems, and I was trying to stimulate that sort of thinking and conversation with the students who are operating at a slightly higher level.
In this primary school, programming across the school incorporates age-appropriate learning area content with 1 or more of the general capabilities to assist planning for individual needs.
We have 170 students here at St Francis. They're from foundation or transition through to Year 6. And of our 170 students, we have about 20 students with additional learning needs. So these learning needs may actually require them to have support to physically access our school, through to those students that need support to access the curriculum at an age-appropriate level. Our teachers work really hard to use the Australian curriculum in conjunction with the general capabilities to cater learning to meet the needs of all of our students.
As a classroom teacher, when I begin to plan for my class as a whole, keeping in mind my students with special needs, we begin by looking at the age-appropriate content for that year level, and that becomes the context and the basis of the learning. We then look at the general capabilities and in reference to those particular students, what areas they need, what level they are at in their development of those general capabilities.
Teachers use purposeful, age-appropriate learning experiences to engage students with a diversity of needs. Learning area content provides teachers with what needs to be taught, and teachers' knowledge of their students informs how that content is delivered. In the next illustration, Abilities and Interests, you will see how teachers consider students' abilities and interests in planning and delivering curriculum content. ACARA wishes to thank the school leaders, teachers, students and school communities for their contributions to this illustration.